Hello, welcome to News Center. The Union government's scrappage policy when it comes to old private vehicles is yet to hit the highway. Tardiness by states and lack of enthusiasm from Motown on giving discounts has come as speed bumps when it comes to giving the policy acceleration that is needed. However, the Union Minister for Road Transport has now said that the auto industry has voluntarily agreed to give discounts on vehicles, on new vehicles, in return for scrapping certificates. Now, what happens is that in case you scrap your vehicle, you get a scrapping certificate. You take that to your dealership if you're buying a new car or new commercial vehicle, and the dealership, on behalf of the company, will give you a discount. Now, if you are buying a passenger car, so the discount would be up to 1.5% of the vehicle cost, or 20,000, whichever is lesser. Now, these discounts will be given by passenger car makers for a period of 1 year. If you're talking about commercial vehicles, then for vehicles in the range of 3.5 tons and more, you will get a discount of up to 3.5%. If it is a commercial vehicle lesser than 3.5 tons, then the discount would be around 1.5%. Now, these discounts in commercial vehicles will be for a period of 2 years. Does this really give a fillip to the vehicle scrapping policy and encourage more car makers and commercial vehicle makers to set up scrapping centers in the country? We will be joined by Manish Raj Singhania, the President of Federation of Automobile Dealers, former Road Transport and Highway Secretary Vijay Chibbar, and we'll also be joined by Vinod Agarwal, the President of Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. Mr. Chibbar, if I can begin with you, do you think this is a move that will really encourage vehicle scrapping in the country in the long run?
Well, certainly, vehicle scrapping is not new as a global phenomena. I mean, vehicle scrapping has been on the scene for the last 70, 80 years in other geographies. So obviously there was a missing link in this wishful thinking that we should have a similar arrangement here. And while government can go some part of the way, I think it's incumbent upon the industry, and the auto industry in India is a booming sector. It has to think as a long-term player. And I'm very happy to hear that they have finally come around and made some kind of offer on the table. You see, the scrapping vertical, as if you can call it, has to become a standalone, sustainable vertical. And unless there is a halfway house both between the government and the industry, this will not take off. So I'm very glad to hear that industry has come around. And while this offer is there on the table, I think very soon they will find that this is something which will encourage more and more people to buy new vehicles, and is therefore in the long-term interest of the industry.
Right. Let me also go across to Federation of Automobile Dealers President Manish Raj Singhania. Mr. Singhania, do you think this is something that will really help customers, car makers, the environment in the long run? Because currently in passenger cars, this is for 1 year, commercial vehicles for a period of 2 years. Do you think it is actually to help reduce the inventory in the system, maybe give a fillip to demand and consumer sentiments?
So, Parikshit, I think this was very much required by the industry. It was already in the annual, and a lot of discussions have happened around it. In fact, as an association, we have had number of programs for the dealer all over India to enable dealers to set up RVSF facilities. Almost 114 RVSF facilities have been sanctioned, and out of that, almost 56 are operational now. So you need to have the infrastructure also to make this scrapping policy or a full complete success. Customers need to have a place where they can get their certificate, and I think these certificates are now, there is a platform set up by the government where these certificates are tradable also. So all the backward and forward integration has happened now. Only missing link in this was the incentive that the OEM was supposed to give out, and that was expected to be around 4 to 5% of the vehicle value. And now with Mr. Nitin Gadkari declaring that OEMs are now willing to come out with this kind of incentive to enable the vehicle scrapping facility. So that would be a very big boost to the industry. couple of things here. First of all, it will get vehicles which are not very much suitable for the roads, and they are much more polluting compared to the present vehicles which are OBD2 and BS6 compliant vehicle. We are soon to see BS7 vehicles now coming in. So all this will make our roads more safer, more greener, and less polluting vehicles on the roads. So overall, it's a very positive policy.
Okay.
And overall benefit to everyone in the industry.
It's a welcome move that you're saying. Let me also go across to Mr. Vinod Agarwal, the President of Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. Mr. Agarwal, could you give us a sense of what is the kind of discount that will be on the table for a customer in the passenger vehicle segment and in the commercial vehicle segment?
I think the scrappage policy, it was there for the last few years. However, we have not seen much impact at the ground level. So there had been a lot of discussions happening with the Government of India that how industry can help this scrappage policy to become more customer friendly. So based on that, I think industry has come forward and we have agreed to offer additional discount, which will be linked to the scrappage of a old vehicle. So for commercial vehicles, we have agreed for giving additional discount of 3% for vehicles which are 3.5 ton and above. And for vehicles which are below 3.5 ton, the discount will be 1.5%. And for passenger cars, most of the manufacturers have come on board. I think 11 or 12 car makers, they have agreed to give this discount, and there the discount is 1.5%, and then of course, so that is the agreement which has been reached with the Government of India.
Right. And this will be for a 1-year period in passenger cars and 2 years for commercial vehicles, Mr. Agarwal?
Yes, passenger cars it is 1 year, and commercial vehicle makers have agreed for 2 years. But of course, this is the initial period based on how it pans out, how it happens. Then of course, the next course of action will be decided later on. And passenger cars, sorry, I also want to mention
would this
that
be
capped it at 20,000 rupees per.
So,
okay. So is this over and above the present discounts that are prevailing on the cars?
So this will be the discount which is linked to the scrappage. So if you scrap the vehicle and you bring the scrappage certificate, based on that, this will be the additional discount.
So it is an additional discount that will be given on the car or commercial vehicle?
Yes, additional for scrappage. And of course, the logic behind this is that this should lead to incremental sales, because if somebody is scrapping a vehicle, it means he will also buy a new vehicle against that. So if he would have continued with the old vehicle, then he won't have bought the new vehicle. So therefore, it is an incremental sale. So therefore, even if there is some discount, but of course, overall, I think it will add to the vehicles that will get sold.
Okay.
So CV
Chibber, do you think
3.5%?
This policy?
You are showing it 3.5% on your.
It is 3%.
It's 3%.
All right, we'll just correct that, sir. We'll correct it to 3%. Mr. Chibber, do you think this should also be for a longer period of time? Right now, we have it for a 1-year horizon for passenger cars and a 2-year horizon for commercial vehicles.
So I would look at it this way. It's a great beginning. And the results will show out. As you mentioned, incremental sales should make themselves visible within this 1-year period. So I have no doubt in my mind that the industry will find this a win-win. And in addition to sales being sort of enhanced, in addition to the environmental aspects, as my co-panelists also mentioned, I think we also as a nation must realize that vehicles, the automobile industry is becoming more and more sophisticated with every passing year. And a lot of expensive metals are being installed in the vehicles as part of some as an input into some part of the automobile. And if we sell it to a scrapyard, which is an informal scrapyard, they don't know the difference between metal A and metal B and the value thereof, or they don't know how to extract it. In a professional scrapyard, we will be having the possibility of extracting the best value from the vehicle which is being scrapped. And this, as a country, I think we must be cognizant of that. There are fairly valuable metals which are these days embedded into the automobile, the IC engine. And as we get into the electric mode, again, that will only increase.
Right, that is an important point. Let me also go across to Manish Raj Singhania once again. Mr. Singhania, now here Mr. Agarwal has pointed out that this is an additional discount that one will get on a commercial vehicle, on a passenger car, in return for a scrapping certificate. Now, keeping in mind the value that one gets by scrapping one's vehicle, the road tax concessions, other concessions that one can get at a state level with the current discounts in the market, what do you think will be the total incentive or discount that a person would get? If you can break it down for us, Mr. Singhania.
So it depends on the type of vehicle. Say for an assumption, we take a 5 lakh rupees scrap value of a certain vehicle. So normal on an average 3% if you take, that will come to close to 15,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees we are normally getting in the market. That's the additional benefit that a customer will get. Obviously, these certificates, CODs, are also tradable in the government website. One can also, if they are not willing to buy a vehicle, they can trade these certificates also. Customers can trade this certificate. And if the customer inclines to buy a new vehicle, obviously with the kind of load and the kind of stocks that dealers are carrying, right now discounts are very good. Discounts and PVs are ranging from 5% to 10% of the vehicle value. Say for a 10 lakh vehicle, it can be close to 1 lakh rupees. Plus this 15 to 25,000 rupees extra. So that's an overall package of around 1,25,000 vehicle for a 10 lakh vehicle value purchase. So that's pretty substantial. And with the increase in stock pressure, the dealers are also doling out some discounts. So it's an overall good package for the customer.
All right, you're saying it's a good package for customers. And Mr. Agarwal, how many car makers in the country, how many two-wheeler manufacturers and commercial vehicle makers have agreed to this, to voluntarily give discounts?
No, first of all, I would like to add on the point which Manish has made. I think let's not assume that this scheme will be there from today onwards. Of course, the scrappage has to happen. And at that point of time, whatever is the market situation, not necessarily if today we are saying that discount is 5%, 7% or whatever is there on passenger cars. Now, when the vehicles come for scrapping or someone comes with a scrapping certificate, you will have to see what are the discounts which are prevailing at that point of time. So let's not do the state calculation based on the current discount levels and try to arrive at an amount which may say that 1 lakh or 1,25,000. So I think that's not the right way of calculating. And now coming to the number of manufacturers for commercial vehicles, seven vehicle makers have agreed, and for passenger cars, 11 passenger car manufacturers have agreed.
Right. So you made this point, and I'll put the final question to you, Mr. Agarwal, that the level of discounting will also depend on the market situation at that point. What does this really mean, if you can break it down for us? One is a value that we will get by scrapping a vehicle, and one, you're talking about the market situation at that time. So what will it mean? How will it apply on ground?
No, fundamentally, we are talking of scrapping. So let's not mix up both the points. When there is a scrapping, on account of scrapping, whatever is the market price at that point of time, on that you will get additional discount as per this scheme. So this is a discount which is linked to the scrappage of a vehicle. And of course, whatever is the market situation at that point of time, that in any case will be applicable.
Right. And finally, Mr. Agarwal, how would you address this argument? Because some have made this argument that why would the government, why should the industry incentivize the scrapping of a vehicle which is anyway not eligible or fit to run on the roads? How would you address that argument, sir?
No, this is only to, first of all, incentivize scrapping of polluting vehicles. But then there are inherent advantages, because when there is scrapping, there will be incremental sales. That is number one advantage. Number two advantage is that when the scrapping happens, then the material goes for recirculation. So then it means whatever material comes out of the scrapping of a vehicle, like steel or aluminium or rubber or any other commodity, so that material will be available for reuse in the manufacturing. So therefore, that will be environment friendly, and at the same time, the cost also will be less, because to that extent there will be less pressure on the natural resources. So therefore, I would say overall, it should lead to a good virtuous cycle. First of all, the advantages from incremental sales, and the second is, of course, the advantages from recircularity.
Okay. So you're saying it will lead to a virtuous cycle. Thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us within hours of that meeting at the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Chibber and Mr. Maniraj Singhania as well. Let's see how this policy pans out in the days to come. On that note, we are taking a short break here on News Center, but when we return, we'll get you a lot more news happening across the country.